In Miller's book, Masters of the Air, the narrative of a ball turret gunner trapped and crushed during a belly landing finds resonance, echoing a popular tale that originated from World War II reporter Andy Rooney's 1995 book, My War. This rendition portrays a B-17 aircraft heavily damaged after a mission, with a malfunctioning hydraulic system preventing landing gear deployment and ball turret articulation, ultimately leading to a fatal belly landing for the gunner. Within the B-17 bomber's crew of 10, the ball turret gunner adopts a fetal posture inside the turret enclosure. In contrast to the B-24's retractable design, the B-17's turret was stationary. Safety protocols barred the gunner from being inside the turret during takeoffs or landings. Accessing or leaving the turret necessitated aligning the barrels vertically, a process accomplished by manually turning them downward using the elevation gear handle. The 1944 document, Handbook of Instructions for the Lower Ball Turret, details the turret hatch, ring assembly, hand elevation drive unit, and meshing elevation quadrant. The gunner controls the turret's positioning using a hand controller unit, enabling rotation in azimuth and elevation. A self-contained electro-hydraulic motor powers the turret's movement, distinct from the aircraft's hydraulic system. This information is discussed in the 1943 Field Service Manual for the B-17F model. The bomber's safety strap prevents gunners from falling out of the turret during parachute deployment. In case of power failure, the gunner can manually lower guns by rotating the interior elevation crank. The hatch for entry and exit is located outside the fuselage, rotating within the fuselage when barrels are depressed. Ball turret gunners typically do not have parachutes due to limited space. The landing gear is managed by electric motors, with manual operation using a hand crank if power fails. The ball turret gunner's crushing would only occur if multiple safety measures failed, including the gunner's protection, malfunctioning electro-hydraulic motor, inner and outer elevation hand cranks, and electric motors and hand cranks for the right and left main gears. If these components were functioning properly, the turret gunner wouldn't face the risk of being crushed. An image from a 1944 AAF document illustrates potential landing configurations, either on a single main gear wheel or fully on the belly. The depiction shows a B-17 landing on a single wheel, causing the ball turret to remain aloft and two engine propellers to bend. The left propeller blades remain intact, but the crash lacks documented evidence. To validate the crash, comprehensive documentation including the incident's date, division command, wing bombardment group, airfield mission, and the identity of any crew members would be needed. The National Museum of the United States Air Force has denied the story of a ball turret gunner being crushed during a landing. The Tri-State Warbird Museum's collections manager and researchers at Hangar13.org have conducted detailed investigations, but no substantial evidence has been found. If the event had occurred, modifications to the turret and emergency protocols would have likely been pursued to mitigate the risks faced by the gunner. Miller's book features an image of a B-17 executing a belly landing on January 20, 1944. However, the caption suggests an empty turret, disregarding the gunner's confinement. The malfunctioning hydraulic system made gear deployment impossible, and the landing gear motors were electrically operated with a hand crank backup. The B-17 bomber incident involved failures in articulation systems, including the absence of ball turret elevation control, gear extension mechanisms, and parachutes. The turret's curved lower panel made initial contact with the ground, potentially causing complete grounding or crushing, partial grounding causing damage to propellers, or the turret remaining intact during a belly landing. The crew could have implemented measures to improve the turret gunner's chances of survival, as the turret's lack of catastrophic damage suggests the gunner survived the landing. The 1944 training document from Kingman Army Airfield discusses the Sperry lower ball turret, which weighs approximately 1,170 pounds and protrudes 22 inches below the fuselage. Its top framing connects to the fuselage crown I-beam, supporting the entire load. Understanding the mechanics of failure and how the crew could induce failure mode during a full belly landing could potentially mitigate risks associated with such incidents. In Scenario 4, A significant upward force pushes the ball turret into the fuselage, causing its framing to penetrate the crown skin. The fuselage crown skin panels are 32 inches thick, and a puncture in the crown skin indicates a belly landing. The I-beam extends up to 22 inches through the fuselage, matching the ball turret's structural protrusion distance. Despite this, the ball turret's structural integrity likely remains intact, indicating the gunner's survival. To prevent a belly landing, the bomber crew should follow Step 3 in the pilot training manual. They should sever the load path connecting the ball turret to the fuselage crown I-beam at the hangar tube assembly joints, or the top trunnion joint, and remove the 12 yoke nuts using a crescent wrench. In a belly landing, crew members must retain 4 safety retaining hooks to prevent the 1170-pound turret from dropping through the fuselage. This allows them to maneuver the decoupled framing out of the way, ensuring the gunner's survival. If necessary, a hacksaw can be used to cut the hangar assembly tubes to maintain the turret's integrity. Claims about the death of a crushed ball turret gunner lack sufficient evidence, as the gunner would need to be inside the turret without a parachute, and multiple turret and gear systems would need to fail simultaneously. To minimize risks, pilots can aim for soft soil or disconnect the turret's vertical load path. Share your thoughts in the comment section. What do you guys think? I have covered some other aspects of B-17 Flying Fortress and B-24 Liberator on this channel. To check out the video on 3 major design flaws of B-24 Liberator, click the video in the description or first comment. To check out the video on how B-24 Liberators were converted into anti-submarine gunships, click the second video. And to check out how being a ball turret on B-17 Flying Fortress was a dangerous job in World War II, check out the third link, the description, or the first comment. Thank you so much for watching. To watch more videos like these, please subscribe to this channel.